Hello, thank you for watching my video strategy guide. This guide will cover the first heroic encounter in the Dragon Soul instance, Heroic Morchok. This fight is almost exactly like the normal version, except you'll be fighting 2 Morchoks instead of 1. There are a lot of variations on strategy for Heroic Morchok, which means you may have to experiment a little to find the strat that works best for your raid. Since there are 2 Morchoks and you'll have to avoid taking both of their stomps, you'll need to split your raid into 2 groups, each one handling their own boss. You can complete this encounter with anything from 2 tanks, 2 healers, to 2 tanks, 4 healers. There is an incredibly generous enrage timer on Heroic Morchok, so you can safely kill him before enrage, even using 4 healers. A lot of people will suggest trying 4 healers for your first kill, and then as your experience and gear progresses, you can dial that down to 3, or even 2. For our raid, our only option for a 4th healer was to have myself go tree and our DK go blood. We figured that gimping our raid of a solid tank and high DPS for a mediocre healer and a squishy tank was not our best option. We chose instead to 3 heal, which worked just fine for us. These are the kinds of things that you'll have to consider for your raid. Be sure to weigh all of your options. You will begin the fight just like normal. Have 1 tank pull the boss and burn him down to 90%. If you can avoid the first stomp and crystal, that will help out your healers. Once Morchok reaches 90%, he will split into 2 versions of himself, Morchok and Cockrum, and both will hop back to where your raid started. You will now have the option to either tank them basically where they stand after the split, on either edge of the walkway, or pull them very far apart from each other, about 40 yards or more. The pro for pulling them so far apart is that you will avoid confusion on crystals, as both Morchok and Cockrum will be tossing crystals, which can sometimes all land only on one side, overtaxing one group, or can even land right next to each other, which risks cross-stomping between mobs and wipes. The con with pulling them apart is that you will not have support between groups, and your group will be on its own. If you do choose to pull them very far apart, you'll need to clear 2 trash packs on either side of Morchok before you pull, the elementals as well as the humanoids by the portal. The last thing you want is ads during the boss fight. The pro for tanking them on the edges of the walkway is that you'll be able to support each other, mainly with cross-healing, and also sometimes being able to choose which group will take a crystal, for instance, if one group is falling behind on healing. The con here is the confusion caused by the crystals being able to land all on one side or right next to each other, which can quickly cause a wipe. We found that tanking them on the edge of the walkway was much easier for us, even though there was a lot more coordination required. Morchok and his mirror Cockrum share a 21.5 million HP health pool. Both will stomp and toss crystals. These abilities are staggered by 6 seconds between bosses. In other words, Cockrum will stomp about 6 seconds after Morchok stomps. Just as in the normal version, your raid will need to split the stomp damage. Just like normal, stomp deals 750,000 physical damage split between all players within 25 yards of the mob, dealing a double portion to the 2 players closest. You will need to designate 1 player other than the tank to soak the double damage. Rogues are amazing here for this role, as they can feint for every stomp, trivializing the double portion. Beyond rogues, any plate wearer will be ideal, as the damage is physical. A properly split stomp will deal about 50 to 70k damage to each player as a single portion. Having a soaker with any physical damage mitigation abilities will give you a very good advantage. If you have a priest, make sure any non-rogue soaker is getting bubbled on stomps as a top priority. After receiving stomp damage, players will be debuffed, increasing physical damage taken by 100% for 10 seconds. Avoid the other mob stomp at all cost, as this debuff will cause it to one-shot you. For resonating crystals, you should have the other 3 players in your group run onto them to soak the damage. As a tank, keep a constant eye out for new crystals spawning, and pull your boss towards the ones that your group will be soaking. This ensures that everyone in the group will be within 25 yards for splitting stomps. You do not have to go all the way to the crystal, just make sure it is in range. Beyond stomps and crystals, Morchok and Cockrum will still channel the Earth Consumes You mini-phase, where your raid will need to LOS and avoid black blood of the earth. These mini-phases come at 1 minute into the fight, and every 1 minute 40 after that. These are quite nice on Heroic, as they will allow your raid to heal up and use mana CDs. If you are tanking the bosses closer to each other, you might want to designate a general area for the raid to meet up at every time. DPS can continue DPSing the bosses during these, if they get the right line of sight. At 20%, Morchok and Cockrum will become furious, causing them to attack 30% faster and deal 20% more damage. This is the time to use Bloodlust and burn them down. Depending on your raid makeup and raid's DPS, you may have a mini phase during this last 20%, which can be very beneficial. As long as you find the right raid makeup and positioning strategy for your raid, this should be a fairly easy kill. Healing will be pretty intense with less than 4 healers, but with a little practice your healers should get the rhythm of the fight and be able to pull it off. I think of this as the heroic Shanox of the Dragon Soul raid instance. Nothing too difficult for the introduction to this tier's heroics. Thank you for watching. Feel free to watch the video of our first kill of heroic Morchok, with mumble chatter included.
So wait, which way are we doing it?
We're doing it like we have been.
Okay. Alright. Pulling in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wait for the stomp.
Apparently, we need to get up.
Meet up at green field and then attack all that shit.
Just bugged it.
What?
I just bugged it. It didn't pull me in. I was able to run.
Don't send in the block.
Pretty close together right now. Make sure not too close, man.
You guys got that again?
Yep.
AMZ this.
Get that go up, get that go up. Meet on the opposite side of green, guys. We're going towards the next area because we're on green right now. So let's go to the north. North. Him and stuff like that getting on our back. We're gonna be pushing into the blood space next. I'm happy to meet Jessi.
Man. I'm gonna conk pot it for the next time.
That one's
We'll take this one. Or that
okay. It's ours.
Okay, you guys got it.
We gotta get away from
It's gotta be land.
him up. Oh, never mind.
Okay.
He's dead.
Mine's dead.
Keep going. Don't fail. Go meet it green, and we'll see what happens.
Keep him out, yes, and keep DPSing right now.
Yeah, if you're taking it down. I've got another 2 minutes on it.
Marker crystal, you're gonna have to go on the crystal.
Do you have a cooldown?
Oh! I did.
Spirit Link. Fuck! Just burn.